Hi, and welcome to Random Rogers Big Picture for the week of August 9th. Well, the year's moving right along. Just one quick little thing on the agenda this week was about a sale I did on Friday. I wrote about this on Green Faucet, but I thought I would talk about it here as well. I sold pretty early in the day, or I started early in the day. I had kind of a lot to sell relative to the volume that was trading. Not a ton, but I sold a closed-end fund that I've owned for a while for quite a few clients. I also owned a couple of shares in my wife's Roth IRA account. It was the BlackRock Global Opportunity Equity Trust, I believe was the name. The ticker is BOE. The short and sweet of the fund is it owns a lot of foreign stocks, and it's a covered call writing fund. The idea behind it, I used to write about these quite a bit, was that it would be a little less volatile. It would be less volatile than the market, and kick off a pretty good yield. The payout was pretty good. That much is certain. And during the bull market, it was less volatile than the stock market, so all good. And then it really got the stuffing knocked out of it during the bear market. It dropped from the high 20s, give or take, down to a 10 handle at one point. It basically did not do what I thought it would do. In all these posts I had about covered call funds, and there was a ton of them, I always said the same thing. I think they have a place in a portfolio, but in moderation. And so, here we're talking about one fund, and as I often do, the weighting was pretty small. But so it pretty much came unglued as far as going down to $10. I wasn't particularly worried about the fund going to zero or anything, crazy like that. The bear market happened, and it did not provide the role that I thought it was going to provide, which is to be less volatile than the stock market. So because of that, I knew that I wanted out, but I wasn't going to, sell at the low. I figured, this is just normal how the market works type of stuff. After big, scary declines, the market tends to have, feel-good rallies or snapbacks or whatever you want to call them. That's just how it works. And so I figured there was a pretty good chance that the fund would have one of those, and it has. It's bounced something in the neighborhood of 80% off of its low, and it's done that over the last few months. The stock market is up 50% over the last few months. These are massive moves, and while I'm not necessarily trying to get more defensive, this was a situation where this particular fund did not behave the way I wanted to. I knew months ago it was a sell, but there was no need, because I felt it wasn't going to zero, there was no need to sell out at the bottom. This is an instance where I tried to be patient, and the fund may keep going up, and if the market keeps going up, I imagine it will. But this is a situation where I tried to be patient, let it come back some, and it did. I mean, that's 10 to 18 on the way to the high 20s. For a very short time, it was as high as 30, but that was like almost 2 years ago. So realistically, we're talking, I think, 26 or so. That's a pretty good move, and if the market cannot sustain this pace, the upward trajectory that it's been on, then I doubt a closed-end call writing fund can sustain the same type of pace. It's just one of these things where the product did not work out as well as I would have hoped. This happens from time to time. It happens to everybody. And similar to what I think I say a lot is, when you're met with a situation like this, how are you going to deal with it? The odds of something, completely going to zero, statistically speaking, are slim. So in that case, it then becomes, an issue of patience. So that's what I did. I just waited, and it's the part of it is if we see another big leg down, which I don't know how likely that is. Maybe there's one guy who keeps saying a new bull market has started. A new bull market has started. Oh, okay. I don't know. But if the market does whoosh down, which can't be a shock to anybody after what we've gone through, I think that this particular closed-end fund might repeat what it did, which is to go down more than the overall market would. And if that's the case, I don't want to be around for that. So I'm out. Simple as that. And really, that's about it. Hopefully this makes sense. You can maybe fill in some of the gaps if you want to look at the Green Faucet post. But that's it. Have a great weekend.